But yeah, that ended.
But out with the old Jump series and with the new Jump series.
Oh yes. So at the time of this recording, I think at least one of these obviously has premiered in Jump, and you can read the first chapter on the Show to Jump app. And so yeah, but we're going to talk about the next three new series that are basically going to be replacing whatever's ended and whatnot. So this first series called Moriking from Tomohiro Hasegawa. The first chapter is on the Shonen Jump app. It is being translated by Viz. I have not read it yet, but from what I know,
I think it's pretty funny. It's kind of reminds me of Sergeant Frog, especially with how it begins and the relationship between the older sister and the little brother to the new mysterious creature that has come into their lives. It's one of those series where a weird character exists and does weird things, and everyone is just nonplussed and normal about it, except the one character who's like freaking out, and the sister in this series is that character. And so a lot of the comedy is just like her kind of freaking out as Moriking is doing something, and everyone is just chill with it. But there's some really amusing stuff in there. There's some really good gags with like the insects in particular. Like the insect society, and they're all speaking this made-up insect language but Moriking themselves is like just speaking regular Japanese or English, and then like the whole thing is that Moriking had to go to like the outside world, outside the forest, to become stronger, to become true king of insects, and then like he peeks his head out of like his little cave, and then he's spotted by like people who are like collecting insects as pets, and he's immediately captured and sold at a pet store for like 100 yen or something. So it's just like very snappy jokes like that are pretty funny.
Okay, well, yeah, I hadn't seen anybody like talk about this one too much, so I wasn't really sure.
People are kind of up and down about it, because it does feel like, how do you sustain this premise in a way that won't get stale?
I feel like that's been the case with, like, comedy manga or whatnot,
yeah.
or at least the very few that Viz has picked up.
We will see, because Mitama Security's Spirit Busters pretty quickly managed to find other gags and a stable of characters that has kept things really, really funny and enjoyable. So maybe Moriking will do the same thing, and again, it gave me a lot of Sergeant Frog vibes, and I can only imagine that other, like, humanoid insect characters are also gonna pop in the series, and if there's more of a cast, I think, like, it could become quite enjoyable. I mean, I quite enjoyed the first chapter. It had a lot of good laughs. There's some really good gags. Like, I think a really great one was just early on, when, like, Sister is, like, freaking out at Moriking, like, having transformed into his human form, and she thinks he's, like, a pervert or whatever. But, like, the little brother is like, oh, you're Moriking! And she's like, no, this is clearly some weirdo. And so the little brother, like, runs to hug Moriking, and then she just, like, jumps out the window. And it's just this funny panel, because you have, like, the brother hugging Moriking, but in the background, like, the sister is, like, jumped out the window. And then in the next page, in the first panel, like, you see her reacting in horror to, like, the fact that the little brother and Moriking are friends now, but she's all bandaged and bruised because she jumped out the window. It's very amusing.
Okay, yeah, this sounds like it could be pretty amusing again.
Yeah.
I haven't read the first chapter yet, mostly because I'm kind of waiting until because full disclosure, obviously, we're not going to be talking about any of these new simulpubs until the end of May, I want to say.
Yeah, we'll wait till they're all out. I mean, the last one of these is not coming out until the 17th, so we have a bit until all three of these are coming out. So we're going to wait until then to, like, do our full discussion on them. But that's, like, first impressions of the first chapter of Moriking, and we'll see, like, how the next couple chapters play out, too.